All right, here we go. Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of your weeks are off to a fine start. Before we dive into the latest NBA news and rumors, got to give a shout out to Aura for making today's show possible. The best online digital safety tool that can keep you and your family safe in an era where there are so many fraudulent online hackers who steal your information and hack your bank accounts. With Aura, you don't have to worry about that, and they're offering a free 14-day free trial. If you use that link at the bottom of your screen, it's aura.com/chat sports. So we start off our NBA news and rumors segment with getting to the latest on Donovan Mitchell. Will he get traded? Will he stay with the Utah Jazz? Down the road, will he demand a trade? We're unpacking it all. It's coming from Brian Windhorst on ESPN this morning. He said NBA executives think that Donovan Mitchell will be available for a trade, quote, at some point. According to Tim McMahon, the buzz is that Danny Ainge, not convinced he can be the face of a contending team, which, if you're Donovan Mitchell, that's a little bit of a shot if that is in fact true. Danny Ainge has experience as an NBA championship winning executive with the Boston Celtics, has had a lot of successful years running a front office, and he's seen his fair share of star players. Now, I think Donovan Mitchell is a star. I'm not sure I'm going to deem him as a superstar. More on D-Mitch, he reportedly won't force a trade, but there was so much talk, so much chatter going into the offseason about him being unhappy. Was it because of the situation in Utah, or was it because of Rudy Gobert, who has since gotten traded? Before we continue to unpack all of this, let me ask you this. I want you to look into your crystal balls right now and get that comment section flowing. Donovan Mitchell will play with which team in 2022? Where will the Spider be at? J for the Jazz, O for other. Let me know right now in the comment section. Now, when you watch Donovan Mitchell, and when you think about the idea of Donovan Mitchell, he's a win-now player. He's already in his prime in his mid-20s. He's certainly rounding into form and has rounded into form over the last couple of years. So a player like that wants to be on a team, ideally, that can win right now. But with the construction of this Jazz roster, they're not a good basketball team right now after they gave away Rudy Gobert and got some pretty solid pieces back. I think Jared Vanderbilt is actually somewhat underrated, but the point here being Jazz aren't built like a team that can make a deep playoff run, which is what Donovan Mitchell is suited to help a team do right now. You take a look at what he's been able to do over the last 3 years. We're talking about a premium scorer in this league who's still developing his offensive craft, has had a couple of really big and impressive moments throughout the NBA playoffs. 25 points per game, a little less than 5 dimes. Him being a primary ball handler, I'd like to see him a little bit better in that passing category. Shoots the basketball a lot, so your offense probably going to be centered around Donovan Mitchell as the focal point, 20 field goal attempts per game, and the shooting split's pretty solid at 44.5% and nearly 37% from downtown. So we'll see what happens on the Donovan Mitchell front. He's made the All-Star team each of the last 3 years. He's a really good offensive player, a very bad defensive player. If he wants to be called a superstar player, I want to see more effort on the defensive end. I want to see him look to get his teammates involved a little bit more often. Now, make sure you subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. We've been live pretty much every single day of NBA free agency, and we're closing in less than 100 people away from 318,000 subscribers. A big reason we've been able to grow like this, we push out multiple videos per day covering the NBA, NFL, and college football. We're going to continue to keep it humming. We're going to continue to keep it moving, and we appreciate your support along the way. Hit that red sub button down below or head to youtube.com/chatsportstv to join the Chat Sports family. Now to the latest on Kevin Durant. Teams have been reportedly not willing to meet the Nets' asking price for Durant. And if you think about this, the Rudy Gobert trade and the details of it, what was included in that trade package, it reset the market. Kind of like Christian Kirk in the National Football League was setting the record at that point for the most money handed to a wide receiver, which then in turn caused the wide receiver market to explode. It's kind of the same thing going on in the NBA with the Rudy Gobert trade changing the market, and now the Nets asking price for a better player in KD, who's championship worthy in my opinion, as compared to Rudy Gobert, is extraordinarily high. More coming from Brian Windhorst on this front. They don't have the trade offers that they like. The Nets making this maneuver and sort of letting it be known in the market that they might have Durant just come back, I think is a reaction to the offers that they're getting. And obviously the market may be slow up to this point, but very, very quickly considering the fact that Kevin Durant is a stud, he's box office, he's special, one of the best offensive players of all time, that trade market could heat up in an instant. Couple of tweets we want to get to. This really a variety of reports going down on the Kevin Durant front. This one, Florida and Miami based, from Barry Jackson. Heat general manager Andy Ellisberg and Nets general manager Sean Marks were seen talking this morning in Las Vegas per sources. Heat continue its pursuit of Kevin Durant. That came on the 11th, which was on Monday. So the Heat, they've been rumored to be in on KD up there. As far as the betting odds, we'll see if they make a big swing for Kevin Durant. We know the Godfather Pat Riley always willing to take big chances. As for KD, going back to the Bay for a Golden State Warriors reunion. More coming from Brian Windhorst on Get Up. Steph Curry not shutting down a Kevin Durant trade to the Warriors per Windy. Yeah, you already know. The real ones know. Steph Curry's got the kind of clout where he can shut this down. But up to this point, he's not. Although the other day on NBC Sports Bay Area, we covered it on our Warriors channel, Steph did say, I think our roster is pretty much set. But as we know, go back to that previous point I just made a few moments ago, things in the NBA can change in an instant. Hashtag this league. Now, I want you to get your votes in and your predictions in with this next poll question. Who will Kevin Durant play for next year? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he returns to the Brooklyn Nets. Could he get traded to Phoenix, Miami, Toronto, sleepy contenders for a KD trade destination? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, we still have so much to get to on the show, but first, I want to tell you more about Aura. You think about it, right? We're on our phones, we're on our computers at all hours of the day. I know for me, I've tried to knock down my screen time over time, but the point here being, so much of our information is stored online when it comes to our identity as well as our bank accounts, and Aura does everything and more to keep you and your family safe. If you head to aura.com/chatsports, you can start your free trial today. We're talking financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security, and these family plans can protect up to 5 people. So it's not just you who's getting protected here. 14-day free trial if you plug in that link. One more time, it's aura.com/chatsports. I'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. Is Deandre Ayton going to get traded to the Indiana Pacers? We covered this lightly last week, but over the weekend and over the last couple of days, as things continue to transpire on the rumors front, this is picking up some steam, I believe, and it could involve Miles Turner. Brian Windhorst saying the Pacers very close to giving Ayton a contract extension, but of course, if that's the case, it would have to be a part of a sign-and trade. Windy on Ayton. We believe that the Indiana Pacers very close to giving Deandre Ayton an offer sheet or executing a sign-and trade. I guess it's if it's an offer sheet, the Suns would have to match, and if they don't, he could just walk as a free agent, obviously, to Indiana. The Pacers had to do some business over the weekend and complete the Malcolm Brogdon trade, and that is opening up enough cap space to almost give DeAndre Ayton the max contract that he's looking for. We could see something with the Pacers and Ayton as early as today. Now, as part of our live show, it is 5:20 p.m. Eastern, 2:20 p.m. Pacific. No trade has happened for DeAndre Ayton. Now, you look at what he's done over the last 4 years. As a former number 1 overall pick, he's been very good. Hasn't been great. Wouldn't go as far as to say that he's a star, but I think he can become one of the league's best bigs in the next year or two, because this guy is still young. He's rounding into form, and he continues to improve and evolve his game. 2018-19, 16-10 with about a block per game. 2019-20, best year of his NBA career. 38 games played, but remember, that was during the NBA bubble season. 18 points, 11.5 boards, a block and a half per game. But the block numbers, they've really fluctuated throughout his career. And for him to be called one of the best two-way centers in the league, I want to see him insert his dominance a little bit more, both offensively and defensively, but more so defensively. Less than a block per game for a guy that athletic, that big, that spry doesn't cut it for me. But again, I think that DeAndre Ayton can continue to get better, and I think his best basketball lies ahead of him. Now, if the Pacers give him a max deal, will you agree with it? Because that's the question right here on your screen to my right. Is DeAndre Ayton worth a max contract? Y for yes, N for no. Let us know once more more in the comment section and let your voices be heard. Want to quickly do an NBA Summer League roundup. I love the NBA Summer League. It gives us that excitement to look into some of these evaluations and these draft prospects after the NBA draft and after really the heat and peak of NBA free agency dies down. So a Summer League roundup here. A couple of players have really shown up and showed out. I also want to tell you to pump your brakes on a particular prospect. For Keegan Murray, he continues to shine for the Sacramento Kings, and that pick looks to be a really good selection for Sacramento. I understand it's Summer League, but I think he has all the makings of being a very good player over the next decade because he basically does every single thing on the basketball floor really well. As for Quentin Grimes, going into year 2, could he be making a leap? At the end of last year, he was given the next big minutes as a three-point shooter. They need that on the roster, and if he continues to play well, doesn't make Evan Fournier somewhat expendable. That would be ideal for Leon Rose and company because Quentin Grimes on that rookie deal, Evan Fournier making a lot of dough. Warriors young guns, they're impressing. After a rough start to his Summer League stint, Jonathan Kuminga played terrific against the San Antonio Spurs on Sunday. Same could be said for James Wiseman, who made a Summer League debut, had a couple of blocks, walked into a 3, mid-range jumper, threw down a hammer for the opening points of the game off a lob from Jonathan Kuminga. Mac McClung playing really well, and Moses Moody lighting it up from downtown. As for what goes down tonight, my eyes will be peeled on the screen as we get a look at Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren. I'm somewhat surprised that they're playing this deep into the Summer League, but for us as NBA fans, as basketball fans, and as hoop heads, yeah, you got to appreciate that. My message to all of the Jabari Smith haters: relax. The biggest concern for him going into the draft, he lacked a handle, and he's looked scared and uncomfortable putting the basketball on the floor. It's, of course, a little bit of a concern, but that was the concern that I had watching him at Auburn and the concern going in to the NBA draft. Now, I called him the number 1 player in this draft class, and already Paolo's been better, Chet's been better, Keegan Murray's been better, Jaden Ivey, Benedict Mathurin, they played great basketball. But Jabari Smith, down the road, because he's still a teenager, can become an elite-level defender. Last year, he knocked down 40+% of his three-point shots. He has that high release point at 6'10". He can basically get a shot off from anywhere. So the only thing he has to develop is that handle, and that's something that he can continue to develop over time. So those are our Summer League takeaways, or at least my Summer League takeaways. If you have any, let us know in the comments section. But also, I have this question for you. Embrace debate. Who will have the better career between Paolo, the number 1 pick, and Chet Holmgren, the number 2 pick? P for Paolo, H for Holmgren. Let me know right now, and thanks for watching today's show.